The year is 2002. After 4 years without a release, the Touhou franchise is finally about to get its 6th game. Sales of Touhou had been good for a Dojin series, but not too wild. Touhou 1 sold 30 copies, Touhou 2 50, Touhou 3 150, and Touhou 4 an impressive 300. If Touhou 6 was like ZUN's previous entries, it probably also would have seen a similar uptake in sales. Instead, Touhou 6 did so much for the series. It flew much farther than the games that came before it. Now, don't get me wrong, the PC98 games aren't bad at all, far from it. But something was holding them back from reaching their full potential. So, what did Touhou 6 do specifically to evolve the franchise? ZUN transitioning to new hardware, of course there's going to be some changes. Yes, better graphics, better sound. But in the case of Touhou, why it became better goes much deeper than that. That's what we'll delve into today. I'm gonna get something big out of the way first. No, the music didn't really evolve. Not yet, at least. See, ZUN composed songs for 6 in the MIDI format first, and then made the wave conversions later. This is the MIDI version. And this is the wave version. So while Touhou 6 did give us some of the most iconic songs in the series, it didn't do anything particularly different from its predecessors in terms of composition. That's fine, PC98 has some banging tracks. I mean, hell, Bad Apple, the series' most popular song, comes from the PC98 era. So, while yes, you do get your You Want Own Is Her and your Shanghai Tea House, that isn't really a result of a leap from hardware. So, if the most popular part of Touhou didn't go forward with this new jump, what did? I mentioned better graphics earlier. And yeah, this is true. Touhou 6 did have better graphics, but not in a traditional sense. If we take a look at, say, Super Mario Bros. Versus Super Mario Bros. 3, from the background and the scenery, we can see a huge leap in quality. Now here's a lake in Touhou 5, and a lake from 6. It's a jump for sure, but not something that quite pops at your eye like the other one. They look very similar. Oh wait, but Windows computers can display images. Maybe the art looks... Oh. Right. There are some more complex backgrounds later down the line, but it's clear that these aren't the focus. So, how did the graphics evolve then? Like, what happened to the graphics that make them so much better than other Touhou games? Well, it all boils down to one word: color. Color is one of the reasons Touhou was able to grow so big after Touhou 6. Thanks to more colors, both presentation and gameplay improved. That must sound pretty weird. No one looked at Super Mario World and said gameplay improved because of more colors. I mean, take a look at a game like Puyo Puyo. Color is very important to the core of that game. All the gameplay is based around matching colors together. But because of the simplicity of its concepts, better graphics and more colors didn't really add much to its gameplay. So, color doesn't seem very important, does it? Well, it's weird, because color is possibly the most important change that ZUN was able to make. The PC98 could show up to 16 colors on screen at a time. Some of this color had to be dedicated to the HUD, some to the character's main colors, and then the boss characters had their own colors. So, that's already a few taken up, and colors left for attacks are very limited. So, you have to be wise with how you use your resources. When a boss attacks you in PC98, you usually only see 2 colors on screen at a time. On very rare occasions, you'll see 3. Gameplay-wise, it doesn't really matter much. You just need to avoid the shooting bullets. But it's a bit dull to look at. So now, let's take a look at Touhou 6. Right away, in the first boss is attacked, you can see multiple colored bullets at once. That's not something that could have been done on PC98 at all. But still doesn't really pop out that much. It just seems like a neat effect. So what about moving to stage 2? Things are a bit better. The PC98 games featured bright blue bullets on a bright blue lake. Why would you do this? Here the extra colors let the bullets have better contrast, so the stage is more enjoyable to play. When we get to Funny 9 Girl, we see the first real big use of multiple colors. In Perfect Freeze, Cyrano splatters a bunch of colors about the screen randomly. It puts on a show and is a dazzling sight to behold, but it's ineffective as an attack because all the bullets scattered so wildly. Zune uses Cyrano's bullet pattern and the chaotic colors to tell us about her character. She has a lot to show, and a lot of power to go with it, but she doesn't know how to control her power. So the extra colors here really help to emphasize Cyrano's uncontrollability. So that's all nice, but still doesn't seem like too much of an upgrade. It seems not, like, negligible, like, there's definitely something here, but is it really enough to consider it a huge leap forward? Is it really all that important? Well, I've only shown the subtle advantages you get from more colors, but not something direct. Enter Hong Mei-ling. This is the fight. This is the fight that truly demonstrated how much new technology was going to push Touhou. First, let's take a look at Mei-ling's mid-boss fight. Starts out with the typical red and blue, something that seems like it could have easily been done with PC98, and then gorgeous sweet flower. Wait a second, oh my god, it looks like a flower! If you notice here, there's still only 2 colors, but damn, they're beautiful. Typically in PC98, bullet colors matched what was on screen. Marissa has purple in her palette, so purple bullets could be used in her fight. But here? Wow. The restriction is gone. Doesn't matter what color the boss or HUD is. Zune can use anything he wants. The poignant use of pink and yellow are not only threatening, but cool as hell to look at. It's a bit less about shooting and scoring, and instead more about the pattern itself. So Mei-ling's mid-boss fight already offers an impressive showing of what these new Windows computers can let him do. But then we come to the main boss battle. Let's take a look at Mei-ling's attacks. Rainbow Wind Chime, Colorful Rain, Colorful Tycoon. See the similarity? Color stands front and center, and it's a sight to behold. Let's take a look at her last 2 first. These are a bit similar to Cyrano's Perfect Freeze. Mei-ling is making her last stand, so her patterns are less organized and more chaotic. And yet, we can still see a pattern. The rain certainly looks like drops pouring down onto the player, and the Tycoon swirls around and fires off, just like a Tycoon normally would. Well, not the fire off, but you know what I mean. Okay, so, this brings up another important thing that Touhou 6 brought. Spell cards. Before in the PC98 games, characters would simply release power and move on to their next attack. There's an indication of change, sure, but there wasn't really any emphasis on it. Come to Touhou 6, and the name of the attack flashes on screen, along with a portrait of the boss. The spell card not only helps by creating tension, but by also contextualizing the boss's pattern ahead. Used the way they are in the fight, the player knows what to imagine. As the excellent Ray Reimu fan comic put it, spell cards are a way to battle from the heart. Each is individualized to their specific users, allowing their personalities to shine through battle. Characters are now less of an obstacle and more of a, well, character. And this ability to remember them makes them more popular. So Touhou's emphasis on characters is able to grow, and the Dojin community followed suit. Spell cards highlight the characters and their attacks. That wasn't the only change to go with it. Let's take a look at Mei-ling's Rainbow Wind Chime. Now this is beautiful. The way it spirals around, and the colors that flourish with it, phenomenal. Imagine this attack with 2 colors. It wouldn't have nearly the same impact. Zune flaunts colors proudly with Mei-ling's cards. This isn't your grandma's Touhou. This is a new era. But there's still one more thing that truly pushes this all over the edge. Verticality. Although hard to see from the footage, the Windows Touhou games actually run at a resolution 80 pixels higher than the PC98 games, and this extra space goes a long way. This gives the player more time to react, which would already give enough of an excuse to have faster and more complex patterns. But this extra space also lets the sources head pattern shine through. The spiral is far longer than anything that could have been seen in the PC98 games. It's something new, it leaves a far greater impression on the player's mind. And a greater impression leads to a better game. So, let's summarize. Through newer hardware and some smart design choices, Zune was able to improve the quality of his series. With access to much more color variety, the patterns were prettier. With a new naming system for attacks, the patterns were cooler. And, through the ability to display more on-screen vertically, the patterns were bolder. Touhou 6 could have easily followed old design ways. It could have used the old red and blue bullets, it could have kept the old boss fights and have them fought the same way they were before, and it even could have used the old screen resolution. A fresh coat of paint and new music would have been enough to warrant the jump to new hardware, but instead, Zune chose to use both new ideas and new technology to improve the very core of his game. And so, from Touhou 6, the series was reborn, and successfully grew into the hit we love it for today.